If addiction was simply a choice, people would stop the first time it destroyed something they loved. You see, logic can't beat addiction. It's not a logical thing. Actually, it's completely illogical. It just doesn't work that way. And the same with willpower. When people try to use willpower to fix addiction, they try to force themselves to stop. It just can't happen that way. Something in the body, a biological process, always takes over. So cravings are not the real problem. They seem like they are. It seems like if we could get rid of them, then it would be okay. But actually, they're not the right place to look to recover. Because addiction is a survival response. It's the body doing its thing. It's the body finding its way. So let's look at why stopping is so difficult in this video. The body's wired for survival versus choice. No amount of logic, no amount of reasoning, no amount of control. For anyone who's struggling, somebody will have tried to control you. Somebody will have tried to force you. Someone will have tried to suggest to you that you stop or that you just don't do it. Or if you're gambling, they suggest you get rid of your bank card or let someone else hold your money. If you're drinking, they make sure you don't have alcohol in the house. No amount of any of that is ever going to work. No amount of control. If they use GamStop to stop from gambling, porn blockers to stop you from going on porn. No amount of any of these things is going to have any impact on addiction. They're absolutely useless. So because the body is wired for survival, we find another way. This is why when people get clean from drugs and alcohol, go into fellowship or 12 steps, they simply transfer addictions. They think they're doing well, because they've stopped the drugs and alcohol. But most guys that I met gain 5 to 7 stone, 30 to 50 kilos within the first 6 months of recovery. Why do you think that is? Because food becomes the next coping mechanism. And you might say, okay, yeah, it's not drugs. It's not. That's true. But so you have stopped a destructive process. That's not a bad thing. Drugs and alcohol, physically destructive to the body. But then you just pick up another addiction and move on to something else. So survival will always win out over logic or control. Cravings are not a sign that something is wrong. That's what most people see. They see that, oh, I'm getting cravings. I'm doing my recovery wrong. But actually, based on what we've said, the survival is still running the show. We have not healed yet at all by stopping a behavior. We've really not moved towards ourselves. We've just stopped the thing that we were doing, that we were using to cope. So cravings are really a sign that something in the body is unhealed. That original early life stuff that I talked about that's playing out, that discomfort, that inner dis-ease, that trauma response, that adaptation is still there. And it's really what you could call a love letter from the soul. It's asking to look inside, but we don't see it that way. We criticize ourselves and we say there's something wrong and we're doing something wrong and something is not working right. So we learn to shut it down. Let's shut down the cravings. Let's distract ourselves. But actually they are a message from the soul. They're asking us to look inwardly. They're not a fault. And all this is playing out through our nervous system. Our nervous system is part of the survival mechanism. And what's happening is we feel through the body, we have intense reactions to things. Even when we get clean from drugs and alcohol, what we find is we start to feel again. We start to feel anxiety in the body. We start to feel reactions in the body to people, to things. Somebody didn't pay me back the money they owed me. I didn't get paid from work. I lost my job. Ooh, it's like a physical response. The nervous system is in and out of different states, in and out of different survival states. It's into fight or flight. If we get into an altercation, it's into collapse if we're pressured and too much. And these are all felt states. They're felt with emotion. They're felt with overwhelming thoughts that come to our mind. And it's a very challenging place to be. And these are often the reasons that people relapse when they've really done no healing after they've stopped drugs and alcohol. So the nervous system is a huge part of our recovery and of healing, of learning to go towards ourselves. It's also why white-knuckling it, what people call white-knuckling it, means holding your fist tightly, just saying, I will not use, I will not do this again. I've given up now. I'm better than this. No amount of motivational self-talk, no amount of motivational videos will stop your survival system from dominating you. If you get into that thing, for a while you can do it maybe. I'm not going to do it. But eventually people always relapse because the bodily system takes over. The physical compulsion, once the body gets into survival, if there's no distraction, there's no moving away from this uncomfortable pain through using or doing something that's another addiction that's not that bad, then what happens is the physical urge comes. It's like a pulling you towards your known escape, the thing that you learned. Then the mental obsession starts. The mind starts going, use. You can't get away from that. It's like a pressure cooker about to explode. You need to go and do the thing.